Hi, you guys. Welcome back to Rocket City Yardstead. My name's Sarah. If you're new, welcome. I'm sorry there wasn't a video on Friday. I know I normally have 2 videos a week, but y'all, I was exhausted. We got all of these beds back here filled in 3 days. We still have to do the round bed, but that tree has not even been shipped yet. So we just decided we could hold off on that one. But I was so tired and just totally exhausted from doing all of this. And then it occurred to me that on the other end, we spent 2 days putting wood chips in, and then we ended up with like a week and a half long break. And then we got our soil and we put the soil in. We did all of these beds in 3 days, wood chips and soil, and then we put some compost on top. And so no wonder we're exhausted. But I am getting ready to make some dinner. Nothing too exciting. I mean, it's going to be delicious, but not too exciting. Just doing some ribs in the oven. I'm going to make coleslaw and potato salad. And I thought I would bring you guys along with me while I harvested some of the goodies for the salad because I thought you might like to see what's actually coming out of my garden. Since we're out here, look at my butter crunch lettuce. It is definitely bolting. The last time we tasted it was 2 days ago, and it still tasted good, even though it's doing this. So we just give it a little sample before we take any in case it's gotten to the point of being bitter. But as long as it doesn't taste bitter, we'll keep eating on it. I also wanted to show you, since we're here, look, we're going to be eating squash here in probably a couple of days. I did want to show you some of the plants we planted in the new garden area because they're looking really good. They look a little droopy right now. I think that that is primarily because it's in the mid 80s and it's windy today. But let's take a look at this. This is a good example if it will come through on the screen. These lower leaves are all kind of yellowed, and the new leaves are so beautiful and green now that they're in the ground. That's true for pretty much everything we've put into the ground so far. Our tomatillos have turned a much richer green. The eggplants are getting new, really healthy, beautiful leaves. And when I planted this pineapple sage, I thought it was maybe a goner. This flower was kind of like leaned over like this, but you can see it stood up and it's putting on some new green leaves here. So I think it's going to make it. So on to the things I need to harvest for dinner. Y'all, I am so excited about these cabbages. Look at this guy. Look at this. It's a really, really lovely cabbage. So I'm going to pick one of these that we can make some coleslaw with. There's some other really nice ones as well. That one's just beautiful. That one's really good. There's a couple that are smaller, and I'm thinking it's because they're competing with the potatoes. I've never grown potatoes before, so that might be a thing that I need to learn. Maybe cabbages and potatoes don't like to grow together. My plan is to just get in here with my hoary knife and break this cabbage off. I might be able to just pull the whole root system out. Cut it off down here, maybe. Oh. There we go. I am gonna just break these leaves off, these outer leaves, and lay them down here. Kind of like mulch. They're a bit less impressive looking once you get all those outer leaves off, but I'm really happy with this cabbage, and I'll make some fantastic coleslaw tonight. I also want to harvest some carrots to put in that coleslaw. They are not totally full size yet, I don't think, but I picked one yesterday and it was a really nice carrot. Not as big as I think they will fully get, but I thought let's pick a couple together because I just think root vegetables are sort of the most fun thing you can grow in the garden. I love that you don't quite know what you're going to get, and so it's a bit like a treasure hunt. All right. I want to kind of, oh, this one looks like it's going to be pretty decent. Make sure my hair's not in the way for you guys. Oh, definitely a splitter, but we can still use that. That'll be good. Let's see what this one looks like. He is nice. I might get one more carrot. So here we go, you guys. This is a nice little carrot harvest. I'm getting ready to pick some herbs for my salads for dinner, and I just spotted something that nobody likes to see in their garden. Let me show you. We have squash bug eggs. I'm just gonna do my best to pick them off and squish them, and I don't know what that is. Oh, thorny. But just take off what we see and come out here and do an inspection later. I do need some dill and chives for a potato salad, so we're gonna get a good amount of the dill here. You guys see all of my onion flowers here. I don't know what it is. This is the second or third year that the white onions specifically have flowered. Even though I started with the little plants with the green tops on them, I don't really know why they do that, but it seems to be more of a thing with white onions than the red or the yellow. I don't know why. Oh no, that's a bummer. I just noticed one of my heads of romaine is bolting as well. It is in the mid 80s. That's not surprising, but we're going to have to eat some salads very quickly. A lot of them. All right. This looks like a good amount of dill. And I also got a nice handful of chives. So those will go in our potato salad. Let me see. Grab my cabbage and my carrots. Y'all, this is my favorite when we get to come out here and pick a whole bunch of things from the garden and use them in our dinner. I am not going to make coleslaw for you guys in this video because I made it not that long ago. But I'll link the video where I made the coleslaw because I'm basically making the same recipe. You guys, I know I said we weren't going to cook together, and that's true. But I still want to show you how beautiful this cabbage and carrot is all shredded up together. I have this nice big beautiful bowl. So one of the reasons I wanted to show you my cabbage is because where I live, it's about 96 cents per pound when you buy a head of cabbage. And sometimes I see people talk badly about buying started plants for things like brassicas because they're kind of a one and done thing. But I bought a six pack of cabbages for $6. So I got 6 cabbages. This cabbage weighed right at 2 pounds. And so I came out on top with this cabbage. It grew in my own garden. I know how it was raised. And there's just something really enjoyable about pulling things from your own garden. I guess just satisfaction that you get from growing it yourself. So don't let somebody tell you it costs too much to buy starts if it costs $1 per cabbage plant. I thought I'd show you guys the dinner we threw together with the things we harvested from the garden. If anybody's interested in this, maybe I could do a video on it later. These ribs are so good, so just let me know. We ate our yummy rib dinner, and now we decided to come out in the evening to plant peppers. We have double the poblanos I planned on originally because all of my seeds germinated. So we have the space, we're going to plant them, but that means we're figuring out where to put all the peppers. So we've got the poblanos laid out. We still have serranos, cayennes, New Mexico Parkers, jalapenos, and Big Jim peppers, which my understanding is that a Big Jim is a kind of Anaheim pepper. So I use them, I roast them and peel them and chop them up and freeze them, and we use them like the canned green chilies at the grocery store. But look at this. I reuse soil when I uppotted plants, and some of my tomato seeds that hadn't germinated in with peppers. I have no idea what kind of tomato it is, and I don't have anywhere to plant it. So I hate to waste them, but oh my goodness, you guys. There's also an eggplant in with this jalapeno. Could you hear those geese? They just flew right behind. Oh goodness, it's heavy. So while we're at it, we swear by this Trifecta Plus fertilizer from MI Gardener. We had some not great soil when we first started our garden. It was like 100% clay, and this stuff has made all the difference. So we always put some in the bottom. Let's see. Heavy feeding plants, things like tomatoes and peppers are considered heavy feeding plants. And you put a 1/4 cup in with each plant when you plant them. So, oh, here we go. But I'll link that below if you're interested. I have no affiliation or anything. We just have had tremendous luck with the Trifecta Plus. Okay, I guess I'm going to start putting peppers in places. This took me a little while to figure out exactly where I wanted to put the different kinds of peppers, just figuring out how many we had of each kind and how many we had space for in certain areas. And I ended up swapping them around a little bit, but we got it all figured out. Not too bad. So once I got them all figured out, I helped my mom start planting. And this is one of the big reasons why we do the raised beds. I have a bum knee and squatting is hard. And my mom is in her 70s. She has osteoporosis. And so being able to sit in a chair and plant makes gardening accessible to her. And so I think this is just going to be such a great addition to our garden. And I'm so excited to have this new area to plant in. We decided we were going to plant our okra here along the fence. That way it's not blocking the view of the rest of the garden. And I just opened the wrong seed pack. Where'd it go? Heavy hitter okra. There it is. So we are only going to get 8 okra plants, but there are only 2 of us, and we're growing this stuff called heavy hitter okra. I will post a picture of what it looks like because it's pretty dark out here, and it is just really, really prolific. So much okra per plant when you plant this stuff. Oh, I just lost a seed and I can't see. We may end up with an extra. Might end up with an extra okra, but that'll be okay. We'll just dig them up. Just gonna poke these guys down into the soil. I don't know how dark it looks for you guys, but it is getting very dark out here. But we have chance of rain overnight and in the morning, and so we wanted to get all of this stuff in and let it get watered by the rain. We ran out of light last night, y'all, but we did get, oops, I'm dropping seed packs. We got all of the hot peppers in. I haven't looked at the footage yet, but I'm guessing you can probably see in the time lapse that I set peppers out and then decided to swap things around. And I thought I would tell you why. We had room over here for 8 peppers, and I ended up only having 8 of these New Mexico Parker peppers. But the peppers I originally set there were my big gems. And I had 9 of those. And so I was able to put that extra 9th one right there. This little jalapeno plant, it looks really sad, but it's more perky than it was yesterday. So I'm hoping it's going to pop back. I've got a whole bunch of seed packs that I want to put out because we're supposed to get some rain today. They've upped our chances to, it's a certainty. So we'll see if that actually happens. But I thought some nasturtiums would be really pretty under the okra where I planted it. And online I read they were a good companion. It said the nasturtiums in hot places like where I live do well under the shade of the okra. So I'm just poking these in. Some people will soak their nasturtium seeds, or they will do something called scarification where they actually will like file on the seed cap. But I've never had problems with my nasturtiums germinating, so I'm just putting them straight in the ground. So hopefully we'll have our tall okra and then our little nasturtium babies underneath. I spotted something very exciting I want to show you guys. My green beans have started to germinate. There's one. I don't know how well you can see, but there's one trying to come up. Another one down here. And I transplanted zinnias into these beds as well. You can see most of them have done really well. I thought more of them were goners. That one looked right here. This one looked absolutely horrible yesterday, but it looks like it's recovered a little bit. That one is a goner. I'm gonna have to replace it. Now, closer to this edge, I planted Dutch fork pumpkins. I put 3 per bed, so 9 Dutch fork pumpkin seeds, and hopefully they're gonna germinate here soon and grow out into this area. We'll put our green stock together, get it moved out of here, and my plan is just to let this whole area be taken over by the pumpkins. In addition to the pumpkins growing out into this big area, I'm also going to plant cantaloupes kind of down here at the base in between these tomatillos. And we're going to let them grow out into the walkway as well. So hopefully they can just trail out here and produce lots of cantaloupes for us. They're probably our favorite melon. We do love watermelon, but I just cannot figure out the growing of watermelons. Followed all the directions for figuring out if they're ripe or not, and I never pick them at the right time. So maybe another year we'll give watermelons a try, but this year we're going to stick with cantaloupe. I have this open space here, and I have this stuff called Chinese multicolor spinach that's really an amaranth. The seeds are so little. Look at these. They're kind of poppy seed and seedish inside. And it says to surface sow them. So this says it's a good like lettuce alternative for the heat of summer. And we love salads. It says it's a little bit succulent-y, so we're not 100% sure how we're going to feel about it. But it said the flavor is a bit lemony. And that didn't sound bad. But even if we don't end up liking it, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So I think we will enjoy having it here, even if we don't end up caring for eating it. And so I thought it would be a good option for kind of here right up at the front. They're so small that it tells you to surface sow them. So I just sprinkled, and then I'm kind of zhuzhing them in a little. And hopefully we're going to have some Chinese multicolor spinach here. So you guys, I have never planted loofah before. I always wanted to, but I was very kind of cautious of my trellis space, sticking to food items. And this year I thought, we're going to have more space. Let's give it a try. And everything I had read said that loofah takes a really long time to start. Like it takes a while to germinate. And so I started it when it said I should, and my seeds germinated within a couple of days. And these things really needed to be in the ground a while ago. They, you can see they're already quite tall. They have a lot of curly cues on them, and they're definitely nutrient deficient. They're quite yellow. So even though I haven't gotten my arch put in yet, I'm going to go ahead and put them in the ground just so they can start getting some better nutrients and have room for their roots to spread. I'd originally planned to plant them on either side of my trellis, but when we planted the peppers behind me, we weren't really thinking about the trellis going in and didn't leave space. So I'm probably not going to plant anything on that side of the trellis this year. And we're just going to plant the loofahs. And everybody's loofahs I've ever seen are such vigorous growers that I think the trellis is probably still going to look really full. But we're just learning. This guy, oh, part of his vine looks like it's dying a little. Hopefully planting him, he's going to put out plenty of new growth, and that won't be a big deal. But there we go. 2 loofah plants planted. So I'm hoping we're going to get a nice amount of loofahs off of these, and we'll be able to have them for kitchen scrubbies, bath scrubbies, those kind of things. The thunbergias are in. They're really little right now, but I'll look up a picture and show you guys what these look like. They're also called black-eyed Susan vine, and the variety I have is called African Sunset. I think they're beautiful. But down this way, there will be another arch, and you can't tell now, but I planted some Georgia candy roaster to climb it. And then down the middle of this bed, I planted some different cosmos. So I still have some things I need to think about what I want to plant. I have room on the far side of these beds and the far side of those beds. I just don't know what I want to put there, so I need to think about it. I probably should make a list of all of the things I have planted in the garden and see if there's anything I'm missing that I really want, or if I can just plant something fun. But if one more thing I need to go ahead and plant before the rain comes, and I'll show you guys. I think it's kind of fun. Just a little bit of whimsy in the garden. So let's go plant these last plants. Before we get to the plants though, let me show you guys my blackberries. They're starting to turn. So you guys, here's our fun little planting project. We have this fire pit, and it's just not in a good location. Too much wind. We've just had a lot of problems here. And so with having a fire, too many problems with having an actual fire. And it's kind of a permanent fixture. And so we decided that we really like the idea of planting celosia. We kind of think they look a little bit like flames, and we picked like oranges and yellows and reds and pinks. And we're going to plant it with the celosia so that it kind of resembles a fire, even though we're not using it as a fire pit anymore. Well, you guys, I got that last area planted with my celosias here. I added some compost, and I have enough wood chips left that I think I might use those in this area. But I think this is going to fill in, and it's just going to be a fun little whimsical flower fire. I have one last thing I need to do before I can call it a day out here, or a morning, I guess. Look, that guy's ready to go in and make us some food. This is a nice size one as well, so I think we'll take both of them. Well, you guys, thanks for hanging out with me in the garden. We got so much done, so many things planted and seeds sown. Got to harvest quite a bit of stuff this week, including these little yellow squash. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I hope you're getting out in your garden and getting your hands dirty. And I'm so glad you were here. I'll see you next time. Bye.